Hello, I have the wonderful opportunity, so thankful to be able to speak to Sylvia De Fanti from the incredible series Warrior Nun. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
As a massive fan, just to say from the fan side of things, thank you so much for this incredible work. That's been so meaningful to so many of us here within the Halo bearers, as we call ourselves.
Thank you, Halo Bears, for the support.
Throughout the season, there is a constant reflection and theme of faith. And I wanted to ask, how is faith kind of explored further this season, presented in sort of a duality sense, as both kind of a shield and a sword, and as we kind of see that kind of literally and figuratively at times through Mother Superior, your character.
Well, it's a very interesting question because I actually asked myself a lot about Mother Superior connection with religion and faith, which are not at all the same thing, and my connection with religion and faith. So I would say that uh, it goes beyond the duality in this season. So in first season, I think that Mother Superior had a very, and as well, it was, you could see that, a very strong relation with what we can consider the structure, the hierarchy, the church.
Mhm.
So the vertical line, let's say that, the priests, the Pope, everything that had a role, everything that spoke about duty and rules. And so there was a very strong attachment to that. Also coming from what I understand and understood from the dialogue that I had with Father Vincent from the past that we shared. So the church became the order in particular, but the church became my house. So it saved me in a sense. So I sort of had this this tension towards it as to give back. Hmm?
Mhm.
While in the second season, I think that we get closer to what is the etymology of religion in Latin. Religare, religio means to bond. It talks about bonding. So in a deeper sense, it becomes something more horizontal, less attached, less related to hierarchy, to roles, to duties, and more to a spiritual connection. So sisterhood becomes the most important path to follow, to merge into, and Mother Superior, who uses her sword as a shield because she attacks to defense. She doesn't wait. Um, I think that she goes beyond this dichotomy. She attacks to defend, and she uses a sword in a very powerful, spiritual, faithful sense. Otherwise, the battle against the Cardinals is not explained because there would have been there something, a big obstacle. And I think that the fact that she goes beyond this dichotomy and at a point understands that it's too late, and she also sees her failure, her fault in what is happening, gives her the power to jump and just to, yeah, jump in the void with less control attitude, controlling attitude.
Yeah, sisterhood becomes a huge pinnacle in season two. And they use that as kind of the way to signal and continue on in their own order. That's the way that they have to survive within the religious scope of what's really transpiring between Adriel and everything else in a larger capacity.
Yes.
We saw so many dimensions to your character, Mother Superior, in this season, as we talked about the religious aspect, the faith aspect, and of course the physical aspect that we get with her sword. How much of that was kind of written on a page for you, and did you kind of find any elements or aspects that maybe weren't overtly written that you kind of infused or like found for her yourself personally that you took to and added in?
Well, I think it's an organic process. It's more a dynamic. It's not just a page that reflects or personality that reflects and then transforms into character. It's less linear as a process. I think that first of all, during season one, you get to know the character better. You get to know the writers. The writers get to know you as not just as Mother Superior, but as Sylvia in my case. And so I think that already when they started writing about Mother Superior, well, Simon told me that he was going to go deeper in what he understood being also my personality, knowing me personally during the shooting of season one. So I already think that there was a reflection of that, more of my personality in the development of the character. Um, and then you read the writing and you immediately embody it. So the writing becomes flesh, as to say. And then you ask questions about it. You ask the writers, especially Simon and David that were on set constantly. I asked them about what they wanted to see, what was the direction, and how I felt was going to be the direction, or what I wanted to try. What I wanted to explore. So in this dynamic, what happens is that you read, you start embodying it, it grows with you, then you shoot. And of course, the preparation is there, but then there's the moment, there's the actual present, there's action, and something happens. Something happens that can divert your choice, give something different. And I feel that in obviously also working with my colleagues, with Olivia, for example, first scene we started, we didn't decide that it was going to be so touching, at least for us, the moment about talking about Mary, where she could be, and then it goes so fast. The scene, we go out, we see the tragic massacre, and then the decisions are taken quickly, but that was pretty much in the moment. So little things in the expressions that are, let's say, more Sylvia, and you think yeah, I can do that because there's a reciprocal trust, and we have confidence. So like we become more friends. So it's easier also to let these slips out, that sometimes are also unconscious. That's the best part. When that happens, that's magical, because again, it's not linear, but everything comes together, and it shows, and that's luckily it shows.
It does. I mean, I love the interplay between the two of your characters and kind of the in between beats that maybe people don't notice, but there's like these nice breaths of either in between like the comedy or the tumultuousness, but there's these little small breaths that the two of you give within these characters that just plays so well off one another, and it does feel so natural. It does feel so organic, but it's also like such a beautiful reflection of the characters' relationship that has kind of grown also, and their affection and their relationship that's developed because of the closeness that they've had, because literally they're only the two people that they are together, and when we pick up in season two.
Yes, yes. Well, it's when I read the script, I was happy because because I felt that this couple was going to be fun because of the characteristics of both characters and personalities. And I knew that the presence, and it actually happened, that the presence of Olivia, Camilla, was going to soften some of Mother Superior parts and attitudes, and looks on reality. And so we worked it out. And I think that especially we had also, we developed also a friendship, and there were these moments where the scene was very heavy, and touching, and then we were, close to tears, and so sometimes we wanted to snap out, and we both have a passion. We share this passion for Rafaela Carrà. I don't know if you know who she is, but in Italy and in Spain, she's an icon. She's a myth. She was a singer, dancer, anchor woman, amazing, amazing personality. And therefore, we chose a song that is Fiesta. Fiesta, que fantástica, fantástica esta fiesta, which is it's all about happiness. And so sometimes to snap out, we just started singing and dancing, our little moment to just to get out, and then of course get in again. But it was like just a look and just fiesta, and we understood each other. It was fun.
I love that. I love the comedy that the two of you got. Obviously, they're Camilla is a younger character and has like a cute, sassy personality, and Mother Superior very stoic, obviously. And then they talk about like these breaths, but the breaths also of comedy, that the levity that feels like another great beat that adds another layer to the clever writing and the character development. Where she's like. Oh, is that Ecclesiastics? No, it's Dolly Parton. Or oh, nope, this is that Ecclesiastics. Nope, Talking Heads. that ad this
Yeah,
like
that was my line at the end. It was my proposal to. I asked Simon. I said, let's make the same, but with different music, my music, and he was like, go on. I
I
was so
love
proud of it.
I love that parallel. It's just flips like again the dynamic between the two of them, and just also shows the closeness that has kind of grown, a fondness and affection that the two have developed. Um, and it's kind of like like the baby and the mama at the same time.
Yes, 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 absolutely. It's literal, but it's yeah, the mother is there.
Well, speaking of comedy, the one of the biggest elements that has kind of been picked up a lot by the fandom is, of course, this specialty bakery truck that we get to witness in the scene between there, and obviously, again, this is suspenseful moment, and we've got these buildups, and they're running away, but then they're stuck. It ends up in this pastry truck. And I wanted to ask a little bit about kind of filming the scene, and then the breaths that kind of came in, interplay comedy wise, between you and Olivia, and how you two kind of really decided to bounce that energy and that element off of one another as well.
Well, that was so much fun that night. So much fun. It's well, first of all, I have to thank the complicity of the director of Kasha. She was she's a very funny woman, and so the scene was this very suspenseful, tense scene between me and Father Vincent, and the rest of the girls, obviously. But as in life, there's not just one emotion going on. It's just multi-layered. There are always several emotions that are there coexisting in this turmoil. So it made sense that uh, that weird pink truck was already something far away from what Mother Superior would have chosen. But fine, yes, okay, that's it. Go on, and so already that is the context that gives the context of a paradox happening going on. The fire in the cinema, in our in our space, in our where we were like refugees there, and then we have to escape again. So this sort of traveling in this truck, and then of course you're hungry and you need to eat, and then and then when the pastries come out, Kasia said, okay, let's try several ways to eat them. So we spent a lot of time this just trying several ways to look at it, reactions, how all the other girls ate it, depending on the character, how I decided to just look at it and then just give that. I was surprised. I was surprised they chose that take though. I was like, good, great. I mean, I think it was the bravest. Yeah.
It certainly was kind of like resolute, like, okay, this is what I'm going to eat, and I have to just eat it. Like I just have to.
Yeah. And then surprised, but then,
Yeah.
kind of know, yeah.
The twist, yes.
Like, whatever. Yes, I love that. And we had so much fun. So much fun. Everyone was laughing. All the crew that was behind the monitor. It was fun. Very much fun.
Something further that we got to see this season is this backstory that was so rich and so intriguing to get for Mother Superior. It's one of my favorite parts of season 2 for sure. We get to see her and her reasoning, her conviction, and her kind of just owning the halo and using it for whatever in her capacity, which seems to be sort of different than Ava's capacity to kind of wield the halo. I mean, it's kind of the time that again that we see that someone who's so confident in using it, these powers, these skills. How does this moment that we get as far as her backstory kind of speak to her evolution and sort of signify to the audience that this change that we get to see in season 2 has kind of softened her or made her a little bit more compassionate and softer around the edges? How do we see that reflected there?
Well, I can tell you how I worked on it. Not sure how it's perceived, but I mm, I decided that that moment was losing the halo for pride, for ego, overinflated ego, was my tragic flaw. So what I bring each day of my life, in my in my daily living, in my daily activities, um, because I was so strong, because I was the best, and I perceive myself as being the best. I'm the warrior then, Sister Shannon. Just I know what I need to do. So this very strong pride, yes, pride and ego, then suddenly show the the tragic reality, drama, mm, where there's no space to work differently. That was just the moment. Mother Superior is shot. I think I had it all in control. I had it all in my hands. I thought I was mastering everything, and then no, and other people die, and things collapse, and so it just shows all the fragility and the weakness of the person, of the person that had the halo and had to be worth to just to keep it as a weight. And I loved it because I think it was the battle showing off my my abilities, my skills, was also showing off as a personality that wanted to to just to be the best. And I had fun also. It's also that was a kind of I was enjoying it.
Yes, a lot of people from the fans have been like, okay, did she kind of lose the halo because if she's feeling guilt or remorse or what is
It's
this
a
that
I
causes her
think
to kind of reach
it's a
it?
mixture. It's a mixture of feelings. It's a remorse for sure. A remorse goes together with the guilt, and guilt, of course, it's means to think about it, to it becomes a standard also, it becomes a stake. So when I say at the beginning of season 2, it's my fault, it's my failure, that's how I see things when I don't succeed. So I think that the evolution is going beyond this binary look on reality, not just winning and losing, but there's much more. It's how you win, how you lose.
We talk a lot about this kind of emotional heaviness, this emotional engagement that we get to see from Mother Superior in the season, but a lot more physicality as well from her this season as well. And I wanted to ask a little bit about kind of the training, specifically, obviously with this backstory that there a lot went into the stunt work in that capacity, but also the scene where she's protecting the Pope, because that scene is so intricate, and her facing off with all the different like religious figures, and having to kind of fight her way out of this. I guess it's like a hotel or something or so.
Yes. Well, that was, they all have something in common. They're all men.
Right. Taking
So
down the patriarchy.
that was pretty clear that the enemy showed itself very clearly in that room where we were the excluded, we were the marginalized, and so finding the strength there and wanting not just the revenge, no, la
Mm.
revanche, that was strong motivation, and yes, it was also my drive. Fighting is Mother Superior's drive. That's where she enjoys more, where she gets excited. That's her, yeah, that's her excitement. And it was challenging. It was very challenging. Both the battles were for different reasons. One was in the night, and it was in a, the terrorist fight was, the place was difficult. Let's say uncomfortable. So, and the fight was complex. There was a lot of there were a lot of things going on, and the scheduling very tight. Always have to, uh, to fight to find moments to train. So going after, staying after, just to make things the best possible, the performance the best possible.
Well, it certainly has a duality of meaning. Obviously, like we talked about the physicality, but yeah, like taking down these men who are excluding the women, and knowledge, people who are part of the order, people who have history, people who
And
have,
they were possessed. They were
yeah, that
possessed.
too. That is
Nothing
what.
to do about it. Exorcism or fight.
Well, another thing we talk about is this relationship with the Halo. We see a kind of a beautiful relationship develop between Mother Superior and all the girls. So I'm glad that we got to see her dynamic between evolve between Ava as well, and I got to see her dynamic further with Camilla, and of course, Yasmin entering the fold as well this season. So it's been a pleasure to get to watch her be so close, and also find sense see her mortality in a way too at the same time. We get again so many dimensions to her this season that feel very rewarding, but also are important to show about her character, and her backstory, and the woman that she is because of all this. And um, just kind of my last question would be really what you kind of hope fans really draw and take away from watching this season of Warrior Nun, beyond of course our continued fight so that we can get season 3, because they're the ending it's meant for more.
Well, you mentioned my relation with the girls, and I think about my relation with Ava and how it changed, right? And at the first season, I was more technical trainer. I was imposing myself a lot. It was much more about rules, and then in the second season, it's much more about mentorship. It's more a spiritual relation, and I think that is what I wish fans keep. From my character personally, the to allow themselves to be louder in the world, to just express fearlessly their own opinions, as Mother Superior does. And yeah, so being fearless, the compassion, and the fight to be more and more ourselves. Because again, there's no winner and losers. The game is not that easy. It's much more complex. I think winning against our own fears is the best way to win. And I think that also talks about the end of season 2. And so this suspension is actually in a very high place, spiritually talking. And yeah, this is what I wish, just to be more ourselves. Hold your own.
Again, I appreciate your time today, but again, to also just echo how important the series and how signifying it is on so many layers and levels for the fandom. Personally, how much it means to me just to be able to speak to you, be able to express out my admiration for the show, and just kind of how much I enjoy the world that we get to see and what I take away from those moments that we get and the beats, the layers, the love, the passion, all that really kind of goes into making this exceptional series so special. So thank you, Sylvia, so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.